What's up, connoisseurs? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today's Saturday, May 31st. Hope you're well. Last day of the month. And in this video, we're going to do another rapid-fire news update. This time for the period May 24th to the 30th. And again, it's just a high-level overview in case you missed it, not a deep dive detail or anything. I'm going to be traveling to the mountains this week. I'll be back on Monday, probably late. So going to be a little less active until about Tuesday. Looking forward to it. So we'll go through this a little bit quicker here today. Before we do, make sure to smash like, subscribe if you're new, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my social media platform of choice going forward. Also, Philip Morris is quietly building an MJ empire. Here's what you should know. And I made a post on why Canada, so they're focusing on Canada. It wouldn't be the fact that they've been legal. They have a legal framework at the federal level for the last 7 years, would it? Yeah, probably that, right? They're focusing on medical as well, but eventually they'll start to take over in the recreational space in a big way, in my opinion, as well. But you know that all big alcohol, tobacco are coming for the space, and big pharma, they're the most disrupted by it. And it just makes a lot of sense, right? A lot of people are being more healthy, and it's way healthier than tobacco or alcohol as an alternative. And I said on X when I posted about it, it's funny how 90% of retail investors think the only opportunity is in U.S. MSOs, and that's not the only game in town. These Canadian LPs, there's going to be winners and losers both sides of the border, but there's a lot of value in these Canadian LPs, and I just find it so comical that most retail investors think they're smarter than billion-dollar corporations. And the old adage is park your pennies next to their dollars, so to speak, right? And there's a reason why all these big alcohol, big tobacco giants are picking Canadian LPs. Look at Imperial Brands with Oxley, and look at British American Tobacco with Organigram, and Altria with Cron. So the writing's on the wall, folks. Pennsylvania senator announces new MJ legalization bill after committee defeats House-passed reform proposal. Also, there was an article from Forbes, MJ entrepreneurs in America have high hopes for growth in the EU, which has friendlier regulations and lower taxes. Here's why it could boom into a $50 billion market that eclipses the U.S. And I think the only one really in the U.S. is Cureleaf. And then you got a lot of these other names like Canopy and Tilray, Organigram, most of the LPs. You got your Auroras and your Rubicons of the world. Speaking of Organigram, they announced a CEO succession plan. So I posted a video on this, but essentially they're going to be looking to hire a new CEO, and Bina Goldenberg will be leaving at the end of the fiscal calendar year. So a little bit of a bittersweet moment. Rubicon Organics reports Q1 2025 financial and operating results. They had the number one brand, I think it was like almost 25% market share in topical brand. But yeah, still a very baby, still a baby, still very small operator, achieved net revenue of 12.4 million, but an increase of 39.2% nonetheless. So if you haven't seen that, you can check it out. And they're also starting the international market as well. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas says MJ prohibition may no longer be necessary. Say it ain't so. Getting interesting, and we'll see if they. I still think rescheduling is the most likely scenario, and maybe we get safer banking as well. I think banking makes the most sense. Position the Wall Street banks. Nothing happens with your Goldman Sachs, your J.P. Morgans, your Morgan Stanleys. Open up the floodgates, and then they'll let meaningful reform come in. But I think it makes the most sense to start with rescheduling. But wouldn't that be something if we got these bills to just legalize it, at the state level, and states that have already legalized, you support the states, States Act 2.0 or whatever it is, right? We'll see if they try to deschedule it instead of rescheduling it. There's a lot to unfold here, but I think they will take the incremental approach. But ultimately, where we're heading is full-blown legalization. I'm very confident of that. And you have to remember, we're so early in this game, it's not even funny. We're like maybe 5% into the growth trajectory of this industry, right? It's still federally illegal in the U.S. We're in the pregame warm-up, folks. We're not even in the first inning, and we still have 9 full innings to go. and like I said, we haven't even finished the pregame warm-up yet. Cresco Labs opens new Sunnyside dispensary in Pennsylvania. Also, Tilray Brands will be presenting at TD Cowen's 9th Annual Future of Consumer Conference, and that's going to be on June 3rd. And the fireside chat is scheduled for 11 a.m. Eastern Time, so you can check that out. That's going to be with Carl Merton and Erwin Simon. And if you haven't seen my Tilray interview video with Erwin Simon, I highly encourage you to check that out. Also, the DEA continues its nonsense. They're promoting claims that MJ could be more likely to cause psychosis than meth. Yeah, You literally can't make this stuff up. I can't discuss stupidity for too long because then my brain starts to absorb it and my IQ drops. So we're just going to move along. High Tide marks major milestone with opening of the 200th Cana Cabana location in Alberta. Love to see that. Also, Germany imports record amount of medical MJ in early 2025, and most are coming from Canada. So Germany brought in a record-setting 41 tons of medical MJ in its first quarter of 2025, according to new data from the Federal Institute of Drugs and Medical Devices. And like I said, Curly the only one in the U.S. Also, Texas Senate passes medical MJ expansion bill after banning hemp products. So the legislation would add qualifying conditions, including chronic pain, while requiring that more businesses be licensed throughout the state. Ultimately, just legalize it. Just like Canada, legalize regular MJ and hemp and treat it the same. It's all one plant. Here in Canada, that's how it works, right? It's all the same laws for hemp and MJ. It's pretty silly at the end of the day. Also, Fluent reported their first quarter 2025 results. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out. Cresco Labs finally reported their Q1 revenue 2025. That was for the period March 31st, 2025. So we didn't get 420 sales on there, but yeah, first quarter 2025 highlights. They had revenue of 166 million. If you haven't seen it, net loss of 15 million, and sequentially their revenue fell 6%. So if you haven't seen it, you can check it out. Canopy Growth just posted a video on this, their fourth quarter and full fiscal year 2025 financial results. Very, very bad. That's all I can say. Wasn't a whole lot of positive from this, but if you haven't seen my video, I just posted it, and check that out for more thoughts and opinions from me, and I did analyze the CGC Stock Chart as well. MJMSO Ascend closes on 50 million private placement, and U.S. Congress legislation to end federal MJ prohibition in legal states gains new sponsor, and that's the States 2.0 Act that I alluded to earlier. Congress member Gregory Stube, a Republican from Florida, has signed on as the fourth sponsor of that States 2.0 Act, a federal proposal to end MJ prohibition in states that have legalized it. So I think there's a good chance that this happened, because if you look at what's happening, the new administration, Trump himself, love him or hate him, he's been following through on his promises, right? Promises made, promises kept. That's kind of the theme at the moment. And he said he was for Florida Amendment 3, and he was for medical, and what the doctors and what he's seen in the medical aspect has been nothing short of amazing. And he said he supported the states. So this makes the most sense to me. And I think after crypto is no longer in the spotlight, AI, I think they're going to turn their focus over to MJ. Also, AYYR just posted a video on this as well. I told people many months now, be very, very careful. Pretty much ever since Florida didn't legalize it, you have to think, all these companies ramped up their production. They were leaving other states in the U.S. to focus on other states like Florida. There's a lot of competition in Florida. There's price compression, right? All of these things, the management shakeup at AYYR has been really, really bad. They have a lot of debt. So all of these things were basically major red flags, right? That this company was going to struggle. And as you can see, AYYR announces delay of Q1 2025 financial statements and management discussion and analysis, MD&A, expected cease trade order, and strategic review process. So if you haven't seen my video, I just posted it before this one. I highly encourage you to check that out, but I would just exercise the utmost caution with AYYR, and that goes the same for all of these companies, right? You can't just throw a dart and win anymore, right? You have to be very selective, and that's why I put in hundreds of hours, thousands of hours into reviewing a lot of these companies and paying attention to the space every single day. And AYYR just had all the warning signs and clues there. And just be very, very cautious, not just with AYYR, but a lot of these other producers with high debt loads and similarities. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on the comment section below. A bit of a shorter one today. Like I said, traveling to the mountains, got to leave here in about 20-30 minutes. So I wanted to cut this one a little bit short, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you have a great weekend ahead. It's Rod with POW Group, and we shall see you more than likely on Tuesday. Cheers.